the Hemet San Jacinto Student of the Month program. My name is Karina Zermino, and I sit on the Student of the Month committee. I'm also here this morning representing Altura Credit Union. The purpose of this program is to recognize and honor our students for their character, love of learning, commitment to academics, in addition to their involvement in school and community, and or their ability to overcome difficult life circumstances in a setting that honors God, our country, family, community, and free enterprise. And we're going to get started with our first school, and that's Hemet High School, and Dr. Emily Shaw, principal, her student Alexis Jamisola, and her guest and teacher.
But Alexis was nominated because she's a leader in every sense of the word. She is in our student leadership class, which every month our student leadership class puts unity forums together, which identifies opportunities for growth on campus, and I meet with those students on a fairly regular basis, and the students give feedback for what are their concerns on campus and how can we address those opportunities and improve the overall climate of our school. And Alexis always has good input and insight into those opportunities for us. She's also a member of our breakfast club, and that mission is to serve the community. She's an amazing student who's striving to do her best in every class. She's an all-around leader on campus. She participates in mock trials, sports, and is an outstanding academic. Her teacher, Ms. Killebrew, nominated her, and I'll let her share why she did that.
Good morning. Good morning. So the reason I nominated Alexis is that when we had to think of a student, her name came to mind because she serves. She is service. She serves her community. She serves her school. I have her in my leadership class right now, and the minute we get a new student, she is the first one to go up to that student and say, hello, how are you doing? Start a conversation. She wants people to be connected to Hemet High School, and she goes out of her way. When we run our Plus forums, she is there in the thick of things, running the forums, and every sense of the word, like I said, a leader. She serves others. She is a co-founder of the Breakfast Club that goes out of their way to serve the community, serve them with meals. They're running a canned food drive right now to have food to go out into the communities. And so when you're talking about a student who strives in academics, I had her in AP Psychology last year, and she is a top student here at Hemet High School. But she goes out of her way to serve others. And I feel like it's so important as a future leader, as a future community member. And so her name came to mind, and that's why I nominated her.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Alexis Jamisola, and I am very honored to be recognized in this regard. First off, I would like to thank my extraordinary teacher, Ms. Killebrew, for nominating me and believing in my abilities. And thank you to our amazing principal, Dr. Shaw, and also to my parents for supporting me in everything I do and believing in your dreams to come here to the United States, the country that you can shoot to the stars in, as my dad would say. As the fall of 2018, I will officially be the first generation of my family to go to college in the United States. My hardworking parents immigrated to this great country in 2001, which was a year after I was born. They started with almost nothing, and after I'm done with school, I will try my best to give them everything. My parents managed to enroll me into a My parents managed to enroll me into a private Catholic school, St. Hyacinth Academy, which I attended from preschool through the 8th grade. As expected, I was sheltered from what you can say the real world. This all changed when I first started going to a public school, Hemet High School. The transition was unreal. Not only does one have to adapt to the 2 times bigger class sizes, but also the environment as a whole. I was introduced to so many different people and this widened my knowledge of the world. Then this further led me to bring out what I learned from good old St. Hyacinth, which was to share my time, talent, and treasure. Nearing the end of freshman year, my best friend, Shalene Patel, and I developed an idea for a club after watching a documentary of NYU students going out to the different restaurants and taking over the leftover food, in which we have a lot, and bringing to the homeless. The club is officially known as the Breakfast Club Volunteer Corporation, and our mission statement is to make a difference in our community by volunteering in any way possible and bringing food to our less fortunate neighbors. The Breakfast Club also taught me the one lesson I've learned to help me prepare for the dreadful yet exciting years of college, and that is to stay motivated and to keep myself busy. And you know what they say, if you need work to be done, always ask a busy person because they'll always get it done. Although it may be ironic, but the more work a busy person has, the more motivated they have to get it done. And at San Diego State University, the school I am hoping to attend to pursue my dream of being a pediatric nurse practitioner, I will indeed keep myself busy, to an extent of course, and motivated to reach my star that my parents hope for me to reach by coming here to this country. Thank you, and may you all have a spectacular and blessed day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ariel. I didn't prepare anything to say, but first of all, I want to thank all the sponsors for this event, and to the best teacher. I just first met her, Kelly. I believe. Easy to forget name, but I am very proud for my beloved and beautiful daughter Alexis, her accomplishment, and I always pray to God every day for my children to achieve the dreams, dreams of the parents and for their future. So I think that's all. They limit my time. So thank you very much, everyone, and you have a blessed day.
Again, thank you so much for being here this morning. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Janice Jones in West Valley High School.
Good morning, and thank you for having us this morning. Thank you to the sponsors and all the dignitaries that are present. And thank you, Alexis. That was a wonderful opening, and congratulations to you and your family. I'd like to introduce Zanasia Hisseler today. She is our Student of the Month for West Valley. And at West Valley, all Mustangs strive to exhibit Mustang pride, which means that we are professional, we're respectful, we are involved, disciplined, and we're excellent. And I can't think of another student who just exemplifies every single one of those letters. With class and with a smile and with positive energy and the most contagious laugh that you can imagine. Zanasia is a joy. She is involved in so many things. CSF, she's the co-founder of the Filipino Club. She is one of our Mustang Empire leaders for our study halls and our breakfast club. She's just a wonderful young lady, and I don't want to take away her time, but I can't say enough about her. So congratulations to you. And now we're going to have Ms. Halleck, her math teacher, talk about her for a bit. Thank you.
Good morning, and what a joyous occasion. As a classroom teacher, we don't always get to do this all the time. And I think, as all of you know about your own children, and especially those of you that are here, the cream always rises to the top. And Zanasia is the quietest, richest cream you would ever want to know. When I had her last year in my math class, students would say, "How come you know how to do this?" And as every teacher's dream opens up, she said, "Oh, I just listen to what she says and write it down." I wish she could pass on this wisdom to every single student. It's like, oh, this is glorious. The other thing is she loves to give her time at Harmony Elementary. And the funnest is when she comes back and shares the stories about how all the little kids really touch her heart. And she says, maybe I am thinking about becoming a teacher. And then at the high school level, she not only donates her time that she doesn't have much to help and tutor students, and they love to work with her. But then if she's not busy in my classroom, she'll say, is it okay? I know Mr. Hansbarger needs help. And she goes up and down the hall. We have some brand new teachers. Could I go and help them? They needed some help today. She does this all on her own. She is a glorious story, just like all of the special students that are here today. So what a glowing child, and you must be so proud.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Anasia Nicole Fries-Hisler. I would just like to say thank you, teachers. Thank you for what you do and feeding the future of the country knowledge. Knowledge that allows us to be successful as we pursue our goals in life. No matter how much we don't want to get up from that cozy, warm bed, we still do. We get up and we go to school not because the government requires us to, but because we know that school is a utility. It is a tool to better ourselves and prepare ourselves for what is yet to come. Each morning, I open my eyes, I think of two specific things that make me grateful for who I am today and to keep me motivated. It's God and my mother. As a Christian, I believe in God, the idea of opportunities that He gives me every morning. I open my eyes, which motivates me to keep learning new things and to find my purpose in life. As for my mother, yes, she can be a pain to repeat. Why do you have so much homework? Or why are you always stressed out? But I need that. I need someone to keep me in check, to know what I need work on. I listen to her because she is my inspiration every day, not because she's my mother. When someone asks me, who do you look up to the most, the first person that comes to my mind is my mother. She is a single mother raising 3 kids on her own, working one job that is about 4 to 5 hour drive back and forth each day. Yet, she comes home with a jolly smile saying, "Hi, how you doing?" Exactly like that, actually. As if she hasn't seen me in 5 years. I aspire to be my mom. I aspire to be happy with what I have and what I'm capable of, yet humble and caring. So thank you, Mr. Smith, and in replacement, thank you, Mrs. Halleck, even if you're not here, Mrs. Smith, for recognizing me, working hard to pursue my dreams, and for allowing me to represent West Valley High School. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I just want to thank Mr. Smith for nominating my daughter, and I'm just so proud of you, Zia. Thank you.
I did want to mention that Mr. Kevin Smith, her social studies teacher, did nominate her, and Ms. Halleck was kind enough to come and speak on his behalf about Zanasia, and Zanasia personally invited Ms. Halleck for that. So anyway, at this point, we're going to invite Mr. Dahlstrom out. Mr. Dahlstrom for Talkwitz High School.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate all the support you put on for this event, the donations, and all the support. Just so you know, you see this event and you see these students here on one day, but what we see after this day is you put a pep in their step, you put a smile on their face, and you inspire them to complete their senior year. So it goes beyond just this day. What this program does, so we truly appreciate it, and Talkwitz is proud to be here today. I have Alika here, and Alika and I have had some good times and some bad times together, but what I would say number one about her is she's a fighter, and I love that about her. She'll fight for what she believes in, and she'll let you know what she thinks, which is also a great little trait she has. You're going to hear more about her. Mrs. Rizicasa here nominated her, and she'll tell a little bit more about her.
Hi. So as you said, I'm Ms. Rizicasa. I teach dual enrollment biology to Alika, and so that's a program that is both an MSJC class that's on the high school campus, and so it's a pretty high level class that Alika is taking, and she comes to school every single day. Notes are already done. She's already read the whole chapter. She already knows everything, and I'm like, okay. So when they asked me like, who am I going to pick? Obviously, it's going to be Alika. She's already ready and set for class every single day. And then we take our final, and she gets a straight A, of course, because this is Alika and this is what she does. And she's like, isn't that what I was supposed to do? And doesn't realize how much other students are struggling. But Alika's just like, yeah, I just do what I'm supposed to do. So, of course, I had to pick Alika. So you can go on from there.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Elika Joy Lavalco, as you heard previously, and I thank you for this recognition, and a special thank you to Ms. Riz for nominating me. This is an amazing opportunity, and I am proud to represent my family, friends, school, and myself. This award is meaningful because the last 2 years have not been, well, not the easiest, so to say coming to school terrified me would be an understatement. However, I remembered that others do not dictate my future, and so with the help of my dual enrollment teachers like Mr. Sprinkle and Mr. Sweeney, and our MFT counselor, Ms. Oakes, they reminded me that I was not alone and I had my goals and dreams to achieve. And others, along with their words of discouragement, should not stop me from being as successful a state lawyer one day. I learned many lessons about life and myself. I learned that giving up something that I was passionate about, but was ultimately destroying my spirit and confidence, would be the healthiest decision I would have to make. So with a heavy heart, I gave up band. I knew it was the right decision, the mature one, and I realized that I am a lot stronger than I thought I was. Once I let go of the source of my harassment and torture, I began to be me again. My focus was again on my future and my plans to do great things in my life and for others. My grades were A's as always. I wasn't so terrified of coming to school, and I became an overall better me. I want to thank those that were there for me and supported me through this life-changing ordeal, and I would like to remind, as well as to encourage others, that if you are in a bullying situation, don't let them win. Don't be afraid. There are always people that will support you and help you find a way to stand up and no longer be afraid. Again, thank you for this award, for this recognition, and thank you for listening.
I just want to thank the principal and the teacher and all the sponsors over here and the people who attend over here. Thank you very much.
All right, next up, Dr. Farkas in Hamilton High School.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you to the sponsors for making this whole operation go with your support. And even more importantly, thank you to Karina. Not too long ago, a couple of years ago when this was going on at the Anchor restaurant, it was much smaller, and sometimes we don't notice how things evolve, but it's your leadership and hard work, Karina, that makes this thing run. So thank you for everything. I've been in Hemet Unified School District for 13 years as a leader, and amongst all the success, the most important aspect is the student relationships. And today we have a special student with Samantha Binger. She's somebody that builds relationships at our school. She's just fantastic. Every day at second period we get to see her because she runs our school announcements. So she brightens up everyone's day in the office and throughout our school. She's somebody that is always energetic and positive. So I can't see myself being anywhere else than with students like Samantha, just bringing energy to your life and your day and being role models even to adults. So we really appreciate everything Samantha has done for our school and for our student enrollment. I won't go too much farther because I will ruin Miss Cope's speech. So I'm going to pass it on to her nominating teacher, Miss Julie Cope.
Hi, I want to thank all the sponsors for coming, or supporting everything. Sorry. There are many students here to be proud of. Choosing Sam was easy. She's my 11th class president. I'm senior class advisor. And I have to say she is the best so far. Definitely. I don't do too much because she does most of it. And I really appreciate everything that she does. She's already a great leader. and treats her peers with compassion and organizes activities and events. She does so many things for the class of 2018, working tirelessly. I'm very proud to introduce Samantha Binger, Hamilton High's Student of the Month.
Good morning. My name is Samantha Binger, for those of you who don't know me. I attend Hamilton High School up in Anza, California. So it was a bit of a drive this morning, but I'm really happy to be here. So my wonderful math teacher and senior class advisor, Ms. Cope, has chosen me to be here, which I am extremely grateful for. Also accompanying me today is my mom. I'd like to thank her for being here as well. I'm currently serving as class president. I represent my classmates, all 70 of them. After graduating, I plan on attending college in efforts to become an educator, specifically for kindergarten students. Last year, I moved to Anza from Redlands, which is a huge transition. I went from a school full of 2,100 kids to a school of just 300, where I'd rather blend in with the crowd than stand out. And now, I have no choice but to stand out. So, I made the best of it. I became proactive. I participated in sports, which I had never done before, as everyone could tell. And I eventually became comfortable standing out, so I ran for senior class president. I conduct pep rallies, and I do the early morning announcements. I believe the most significant life lesson that I've learned is to dare to stand out and to be a leader. And with that being said, I give my thanks to the sponsors, and I give thanks to Hamilton High School for encouraging me to stand out and to be a leader. Thank you.
I just want to say I'm very proud of Samantha, and thank you to all the teachers at Hamilton High.
Good job. Okay, our next school is Helen Hunt Jackson, led by Principal Frank Green.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. Again, thank you to the sponsors who just help support the students. Our Helen Hunt Jackson's College Prep High School Student of the Month is Maria Moreno. She is just the pure embodiment of what independent study is. Whatever isn't done at school gets done out of school. She's a leader both in school and out of school and at other schools. She is our ASB president. She participates in West Valley's track and field and soccer program. And she walks around our campus constantly with a smile. She helps out in our K-8 program, and an example to those students. Just, again, what we want a Helen Hunt Jackson student to be. I'm going to turn it over to her teacher, Deborah Markison.
Maria's nickname is Tigger because she is filled with boundless energy and joy. And this is why, I'm only one of many that nominated her, but this is why I didn't nominate her but could have. Her academics, she's an excellent student. Taught her in 9th grade geometry. Last period of the day, didn't know she did cross country, soccer, and track. So many times she would come to me during lunch, Mrs. Markison, what did you teach? And I think that's where we made our first connection. Went to one of her track meets, didn't know anything about her. I mean, as far as what her ability was, first place. First place again. Go, wow, Maria, you're good. Outstanding artist. ASB president, became my aide for the last 2 years, and this is why I nominated Maria. So we're setting up the field, I'm doing a PE class, we're coming back, and there she goes, running down to see the yard supervisor, gives her a hug, I walk up, and the supervisor says, got my sunshine for the day. That is Maria. Maria comes to the shelter we have in town. Oh, Mrs. Markison, let's make brownies. Let's make something really special. So not only does she prepare food in their kitchen, which you have to do, then she serves. Always wants to go, always willing to do something. Maria had an issue with a student. It was during one of the times she was supposed to be my aide, I never knew who the student was. She would not talk about that student. But I knew she went for the proper authority. It was a boy who would not leave her alone, which I understand that, and it was dealt with. Never did she talk against him. That is the integrity, the kindness, the compassion. And finally, I'm watching her one day, and she's with another student that I taught who is not the most responsible student. And she was there a day she wasn't supposed to be there, and I'm watching her with him. And the next day I go, Maria, what were you doing? He goes, well, he had a task to do in ASB, and he just wasn't getting it done. I thought I could help him. That's Maria.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Hi, my name is Maria Moreno. I'm so honored to be here to represent my school. Going to a smaller school, you become so connected to these teachers, and you're surrounded by all these loving students. You learn their stories, and they just inspire you to want to be a better person. And I thank my teachers and all the students that attend my school for allowing me to be the person that I am today, because their stories inspire me to do everything that I can to make their lives and the world a better place. Another big inspiration for me that I've seen is when I go to the homeless shelter and I see these kids. And there's actually one specific kid that just was like helping me, and I gave him a plate because we served them. And he turns around and he says to me, does this make you happy? And I said, and like he's like a 3-year-old boy, and he just turned around and said this so bluntly and so honestly. And I was like so overjoyed that he asked me that, because I was able to respond with, yes, this makes my day. Like, serving these people is just such a blessing. Sorry. It just helps me spread my faith in God and just be grateful for every day that I live. Recently, I had gone through a very big challenge where I had a growth in my stomach, and they never knew it was there, so I had to have surgery. And it was very unexpected because I'd never had surgery before. They said it's partially life-threatening, and that was a big hitter for me. And I said, you know what? I told my mom, I'm gonna be okay because I have a strong faith in God, and I know that He will carry me through. Learning to walk again was so difficult, but it made me think about just the great things in life that we have every day. Being in that hospital for a good 4 days, enclosed in an environment where you didn't really get too much interaction or see the outside world. You really, once you leave, you get a new perspective on life, and you're so much more grateful for the things that you're able to see, the people that come up to you and say, oh my gosh, you're all better. And I'm just really grateful for all the people who have touched my life, including my parents and my teachers. So I'd just like to thank all of you for coming here as well, because these students have been through struggles. We all have. And, you know, this is where we are today, and I just think it's just so amazing that we're all here today. So thank you.
I'd just like to thank all the sponsors and Helen Hunt Jackson for believing in Maria and giving her this opportunity. Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to welcome Paul Bailey from Western Center.
I have the pleasure today of introducing Matthew Walker. And Matthew and I were having a conversation just a little bit ago, and I think Maria pretty much nailed it on the head in what you just heard. But the opportunity that we have here every month, that these sponsors, incredible sponsors and dignitaries from Hemet Unified and San Jacinto can come together and really celebrate adversity. And that the strongest point of that is recognizing that it happens to all of us in different forms, and we have the distinct pleasure of having the opportunity to be able to recognize that in our youngest, most accomplished students and the things that they go through. I have the pleasure of being able to be up here with Matthew Walker, an incredible academic student, multiple AP courses. He's completed 7 college courses already. He's in the midst of 3 right now that he'll be completing by the end of this year. But Matthew's also gone through some of his own adversity. And honestly, I don't know how much he'll share with you, but it's a piece where understanding and recognizing that we all go through trials and tribulations and that we can come out at the other end better for it. And that's part of life, and it's part of making ourselves better. I've known Matthew for going on almost 7 years now. I can remember a time that I was actually taller than him. It was a great moment, really. 6th grade when I could go, "Hey, how you doing?" And now I have to walk around like this every time that I see him. During his 7 years at the Western Center, he's been able to develop some incredible friendships, incredible relationships, both with other students and with staff members. And I think a good part of that had an opportunity to be able to help him through his own challenges. But that's what we represent. That's the very best of all of us as a family and as a larger community in what we can do to be able to create that level of support. And that's what we see here today. And so I'd like to introduce Samantha Opperman, one of the many teachers involved in the nominating process for the illustrious Matthew Walker.
Thank you, everybody. I would again like to mention, as Mr. Bailey stated, that the nomination of Matthew Walker was not just one teacher's decision, but it was a complete consensus amongst our entire staff. Now, I personally have known Matt for 4 years. I've seen him grow in character as well in height. I also was taller than him at one point. When I first met him, Matt was a kid who was so sure of everything in his life, from high school beyond. His trajectory was set, it was planned, it just needed to be executed. It was then, of course, after knowing him that way, very difficult to see that little bit of spark diminish when he suddenly lost his father in his sophomore year. And it wasn't so much his sadness as it was the general questioning of a world that he seemed to know so well before this happened that concerned all of us. What none of us considered, however, was the fact that the spark we so admired in Matt didn't go out. It was just set aside for a little bit. And all he had to do was decide to turn it back on. And oh boy, did he. Over the next couple years, Matt became one of our strongest academic students, taking every opportunity as it came and every experience as an important step on a journey that he was now just happy to experience. To put it concisely, Matt is a student who did not let the events in his life define him, but instead is someone who defines his own life by the tenacity and the energy that he puts into it. And I am very proud to have been able to be on that journey, a small part of it with him. So without further ado, Matt Walker.
All right, so good morning to you all. First of all, I would like to thank the school board for having me here and recognizing me at this event, the teachers at Western Center for nominating me for this honor, and then also to my family and Mr. Bailey for their support throughout my life and through their guidance through all my struggles. So, like Mrs. Opperman had said, I went into high school with a pretty straightforward plan. I had a very big interest in music, so I wanted to go to college and gain a degree in music. And with these high hopes, I always went into school ready to perform my best, and my father always stood behind me in this. And he always supported me in everything that I wanted to do as long as I was getting good grades. And this was not only in school, but he also guided me to be an active member in my community. We were always actively involved with Rebuild Hemet, and through our activism with these events, he received many death threats along with myself for for going to these events. And that was a kind of scary point in my time, but I always felt safe and secure when I was with him. So when he passed away at the beginning of my sophomore year, this came as a big shock to me, and I don't think it quite hit me right as soon as it happened, just because of how big of a change it was. I went to school the next week and was immediately concerned with what I had missed and with my grades and how I was going to, recover from missing what time at school that I did miss. And then after trying for a couple weeks and, trying my best to just keep everything inside of me and just sort of tough it out, I just broke down, and I just lost all hope in everything that I had once wanted to do. My grades had plummeted from that point, and so from then I lost my hope in going to college. I looked at the job market for music, and I decided that obviously wasn't reasonable, because music industry isn't exactly a concrete and solid career choice. So I just sort of gave up and lived in that sort of slump for a while. And it wasn't until the end of my sophomore year that I had realized what I had become of myself. And I realized that rather than dwelling on what had happened and feeling sorry for myself, I rather needed to put my energy toward bettering myself and bettering my future. And excuse me. So I learned that I needed to adapt, and this came with many of the courses that I took. I broadened my horizons and took many of the courses that I wouldn't have normally took. I took an interest in many different things and narrowed myself down to engineering, business, and also looking at paths in the military through the Air Force. So what did I learn from this? I learned lessons in self-motivation and discipline. I learned that I need to work as hard as I can right now, so that way I won't have to work as hard later. Whether that be in college or through my career choice, the harder that I work now, especially with how many opportunities I have at the Western Center, the less I'll have to put forth later. And also that I need to use my energy toward bettering my future rather than dwelling on the past, like I had once said. And I can't really say how important that is, and every time I get down on myself, I look back to that event and can see all the growth that I had in myself. Like by the end of my sophomore year, I was able to bring up all my grades about a half a letter to a letter grade up, and I was able to pass the AP biology exam, something that I wasn't very interested in, but I pushed myself and was able to motivate myself through that event. Thank you.
I just want to say I thank God every day for this boy. And I'm not one for public speaking, especially when it's something that touches me so close to my heart. And after the event happened, I just kept thinking to myself, everybody's got to rally around this boy. And that's exactly what his school did and what the community did, and his family and his strong faith in God got him through very tough times, because I think all too often we hear of people that make poor choices based on the circumstances that they're in, and he always held his head up high, and I'm so very proud of him, and his godfather has also made a huge impact in his life and being there for him in that fatherly figure. So thank you, all of you.
All right, next up I'd like to introduce Luke Smith, San Jacinto High School.
Good morning. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you to the sponsors. Again, listening to all the stories from our students, I go back to so much that you just don't know until you get beneath the surface of a student, and the backgrounds and the experiences that they have are so rich and so inspiring, and that's why I'm very pleased to introduce Guadalupe Arenco for us as our Student of the Month from San Jacinto High School. We talk about unassuming and humble, and Guadalupe is one of those students that really, when I was sitting here thinking about how much I love our high school, how much I love our students, and Guadalupe represents exactly why. Last year, it was the first time I believe I met Guadalupe would have been last year, as we started a program where we were mentoring students from one of our elementary schools. And I got to watch as she blossomed, making a connection with what grade is the kid?
Third grade.
The little third grader, and just seeing that that connection that she makes with students, her work in AP classes, in dual enrollment classes, in orchestra, all the things that you would just kind of see on the surface, and then getting to know a little bit more about her through her nominating teacher, Miss Jessica McDonald, who will talk a lot more about her. But I just wanted to, that's my takeaway from this morning, is understanding so much more about our students, building those relationships, and really getting to what they are about as people and the families that they represent, and how proud I am of all the students that were here this morning, but especially of San Jacinto High School. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Jessica McDonald, who is Guadalupe's nominating teacher.
So I've had the honor of knowing Miss Guadalupe for 3 years. She's been a student in 2 of my classes, and she also holds leadership positions in 2 of the clubs that I advise on campus. And she is perfect for this recognition because not only does she have a passion for her own education, but she has a heart for service as well. Over the past 3 years, I've gotten to know her really well, and I've been continually impressed by her. She's one of those students who really seeks to understand what she's learning rather than just go for those good grades, although she does have good grades as well. But more than that, she really has a heart for service. So through my work with her with National Honor Society, AP Club, and from our conversations about Patriot Tigers, which is another community service organization that she's part of, I know that she really has a passion for serving others in her community, especially those who may be less fortunate. And she's relentless in trying to make her community a better place, but she does so with sort of this quiet sophistication that permeates everything that she does. On top of that, the girl is always smiling. No matter what life throws at her, in the classroom, outside the classroom, college applications, deadlines, projects, she always has a smile on her face and a kind word for everyone. I am 100% confident when she leaves us, she's going to make our world a better place, and I'm proud to have been able to serve just a small part in your life so far. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. I am Guadalupe Botello Orincho, the Student of the Month for San Jacinto High School, and these are my parents, and this is my outstanding teacher, Miss McDonald. It is an honor to have been chosen, and to start, I would like to give everyone an insight into who I am. So my greatest contribution to my school is helping others in my class every day. Whether it's helping someone understand a math problem or explaining how to hold a violin bow, it gives me satisfaction and joy when I see others' faces of comprehension. My greatest contribution to my community comes from the clubs I am in. For example, the AP Club's goal is to raise money for students to take their AP test. The National Honor Society, which is solely based on community service projects, has me interacting with elementary students through our Hyatt Blanket program, the elderly with our Valentine's Day visit, and the less fortunate with our necessity bag making. Also, Patriot Tigers, which is a club dedicated to raising awareness for veterans and fundraising for them, has allowed me to work hard for another group of under-recognized, yet brave, outstanding souls. Everyone comes from obstacles unique to their own life. Now I'm going to share some of my most significant ones with you. Alrighty. So I was never guaranteed my education or my chance of succeeding in the U.S. because of my immigration status. I am sure many of you know now with the recent set of disagreeable changes in our legislature that an undocumented student can get a college degree but yet cannot legally work in the United States. Yet I continued to work vigorously at school and whatever I put my mind to, with the hope that it would all turn out for the best, and it did. I was protected under the amazing program of DACA, and now I have obtained my residency and can go to college and fully contribute to American society as I can legally work in the United States. The overcoming of this obstacle has only reinforced my belief in that everything happens for a reason and that I can do anything as long as I believe in myself and work hard. Next, I would like to share with you my technological obstacles. So we did not own a computer in my house until I was a freshman in high school. Before that, any research or anything I needed to be printed out, I went to the library for. Although it worked, it was 10 times better when we got a computer because any schoolwork I needed to complete could conveniently be done at home. Now to this day, I still go print things out at the library or through helpful teachers. On this note, I did not get my first cell phone until this summer, July 2017. Now that I know what it is like to have a cell phone, I am so proud of myself for surviving the 21st century where everyone has a cell phone, even 5-year-olds. It makes life so much more convenient. Now, I just wanted to mention this particular obstacle does arise from financial challenges, but hey, I've managed this far, and I've greatly taken pride in my resourcefulness and problem-solving skills. Of these obstacles, I've learned the most significant life lesson that I will take with me to college, which is to never give up, and that if you really want to do something, work hard and you can accomplish anything, no matter how against you the odds may seem. I plan on giving back to my community by returning as a registered nurse and improving our lovely Hemet hospital. The reason I chose the nursing route was because I love to help others, especially when they are feeling their worst, because it makes me feel amazing when I have helped them feel better, if not their best. I am full of compassion, and I want that compassion to be given to a lot of people each and every single day of my life. I also plan to keep supporting our veterans, visiting our elderly, and donating to our Restart programs, just like I have eagerly done through the school clubs I'm in. Lastly, I want to visit schools to inspire and inform other future medical field students. Thank you all for listening, and I would like to give a special thanks to my guests, as they have personally supported me. Congratulations to all you other Student of the Months, because you guys are amazing. You guys made me cry like 5 times. And a very special thanks to our sponsors for recognizing the leaders of the future.
Good morning. I'm Guadalupe's dad, and I just want to say how proud I am of her. I always see her working very, very hard in order to achieve great things. She always overcomes obstacles and manages to complete her work, even if she has to stay up late. She studies hard and always does it with a good attitude. And she still has time to help a little brother to practice reading and doing his addition and subtractions. She makes time to participate in clubs that help others. And finally, thank you to all her teachers, especially to Ms. McDonald. And thank you Guadalupe, for being such a good student. And on behalf of your younger siblings and mother and I, we are very, very proud of you. Thank you, Guadalupe. We love you. Thank you for...
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call down my partner in crime, Mr. Ken Swanson in Mountain View High School. What I love about this connection is I get to see multiple students of ours. We're very, very close, and I love our nominee from Mountain View. So.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mountain View High School is back again today, so let's wake you guys up. I'm not going to talk a whole lot right now. I'm going to tell you that we have a lovely young lady for you today. Her name is Linda Rodriguez, and to tell you more about Linda is my wonderful counselor, Mr. Ryan. Come here.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I feel an almost paradoxical mix of humility and pride as I have to figure out how to summarize who Linda is to me in just a few short sentences. So bear with me there. Linda, I want you to know that you have so many incredible character traits. You are a natural born leader. People want to follow you. You have this ability to put others at ease and to relax, even in intense situations. You make people laugh. I don't think you and I have ever had a conversation where we weren't laughing together at one point, and I really appreciate that about you. You bring out the best in those around you. You are ambitious. You graduated already on October 27th after having completed 12 5-credit classes this semester alone. And you managed to get straight A's in all those classes, all while volunteering at an animal shelter. You're tenacious, resilient, intelligent, compassionate, expressive, artistic, empathetic, and courageous. And you know what, Linda? I trust you. You're dependable. I know you'll come through for those you love most and those that you might not even know but who need you. One of my most favorite memories of us together is of recent when you entered a writing contest for the Riverside County District Attorney and you won second place, and I got to go with you to Riverside and we got to meet Christopher Landon, which was awesome. He's a movie producer, so that was cool. I'm excited to see where your future takes you. When I'm old and retired and I think back on all my students, I believe you will be one that I remember with warmth and many cherished memories. I want you to know that you can always count on me if you ever need someone to talk to about the past, present, or future. And I expect to hear what's going on in your life as time goes on. Don't forget about us at Mountain View. We love you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Linda Rodriguez, and I recently graduated from Mountain View High School on October 27th. It is a tremendous honor to speak here today. With me is my mother, Flor Hernandez, and my father, Juan Rodriguez, and my favorite counselor, Mr. Ryan. I would like to be able to say that I have gotten good grades throughout all my 4 years of high school. I'd also like to say that I did not face any struggles, but that is not the case here. I did not get good grades throughout all 4 years, and I did face many, many struggles. The summer before my 9th grade year, my older brother was incarcerated. He and I were very close, so it was quite a tough blow for me. Before this happened, I had already been going through some problems that were affecting me greatly, and my brother's incarceration just added to the stress. I had been self-harming, and it had gotten to the point where that was not enough anymore. On July 11th, I tried to commit suicide, and I was found by a family member. After this, I decided to see a therapist. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I had to take medication for it. The combination was affecting my state of physical well-being, which made it hard to concentrate. By 10th grade year, I was failing more and more classes. During the winter, one of my closest friends passed away in an accident. Less than a month after that, another one of my closest friends passed away. These events took a great toll on me, and I found it difficult to focus on school. When I went to get my schedule for 11th grade year, I was told that I would not graduate on time, so I had to enroll at Mountain View. Needless to say, my parents were not too pleased with me. It was not until I started attending Mountain View that I realized I needed to get it together. My life had finally started to turn around. I began putting more and more effort and time into schoolwork, and I realized something that I had not realized before. I was not stupid, and I had been underestimating myself a great deal. I began getting A's, and I was passing lots of classes. I began setting goals for myself, and I was achieving them. I went from having a 1.33 GPA in 10th grade to a 4.0 GPA in my senior year. I plan to attend MSJC in January to start my path toward a career in the veterinary sciences. I would like to have my own veterinary practice. In the future, I plan to create a nonprofit organization to help people exiting the prison systems assimilate back into our community. I want to help them find jobs, homes, and ways to not fall back into the same path that led them into prison. I would like to thank the sponsors who made this event possible. I would also like to thank my family for supporting me, my mother especially. Thank you for all of those nights you helped me through my problems and for telling me to keep trying my hardest in school. I could not have done it without you. Also, thank you to the amazing adults at Mountain View who believed in me when I had trouble believing in myself.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank all the sponsors this morning for making this thing happen. Especially thanks to Mr. Swanson and Mr. Ryan and Linda. We are very proud of you. We love you too.
Do you want to say something, Flor? No? Yes? Go ahead, Flor. You can. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not too good speaking now. There's a lot of people. I get nervous. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the sponsors for making this happen, making this possible, for recognizing all these amazing students, amazing kids that overcome everything that comes their way and are our future. And I want to say, Linda, I am so, so proud of you. And you're the one that made it happen. We're very, very proud of you, and thank you to all the Mountain View staff members. They are amazing with the kids. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Just one of my amazing kids. I love her so much, and she's off to go do great things out here. By the way, if you want to hire her, she'd make a wonderful representative at your business place. Okay, so updates. Last guy that was here, Ramon Vasquez. Ramon graduated. Ramon's off to college now, so congratulations to Ramon. And I'm ready to invite up Miss Karina to wrap this thing up. So, Karina, come on up.
Thank you, students, so much for sharing your stories. As I said before you even started speaking, is that you guys are a motivation to us because you guys have overcome a lot of challenges that sometimes, or most of the times, I would say us as adults cannot overcome, or we think we can't overcome. And coming to these breakfasts once a month gives us that motivation. You guys have overcome bullying, which, believe it or not, as adults, we face it every day. You think, once you grow up, adults would be a little more mature, and sometimes we are just not that. But you guys make us think of those things, and it's okay to have different views in life and to still love each other and respect each other. And you guys do that every day. I have friends that have different political views, religious views, but I love them, and that's what makes us all different. We should always be able to come together and agree to disagree and move on. And I think all the adults in this room look at you students and see that. And we kind of maybe feel a little embarrassed when we walk out of here, but you make us better. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories and being so brave. And I encourage everyone to share your story because people see you and think, this student, this adult, it's just awesome. They must have had the perfect life. I don't have that. Well, they don't know the true story. And when you hear the true story, it motivates others to say, I went through something similar. I can maybe overcome this challenge as they did, and you give that strength back. So never be embarrassed of your past. Your past does not define who you are today. It only makes you stronger. And I know you guys hear that every day, but it makes a difference when you share your story. So thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.